Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It's Chris. 10 reasons why we should be taxing poor people. Number one, they're very annoying. Now, I'm sure you guys already know this, but let me paint a little bit of a picture here. When you walk into a Walmart, which, I have done many times, I'm sure you guys have done a lot of times, right? The majority of the people there, even if they're dead silent, if they're dead silent, their existence simply annoys you. Even if they're not getting in the way, even they are completely irrelevant to you. They just annoy you. Simply them existing annoys you. They should be taxed for that. Number two, they are lazy and do not contribute anything to society. Again, at Walmart, they're loud, obnoxious. This kind of goes back to them being annoying, right? And they're constantly saying stuff like, tax the rich. Why? Why are we taxing rich people? Rich people like Elon Musk. These people are trying to get us onto Mars, explore space, mathematics, quantum mechanics. I stole that a little bit from Alex Jones. How cool is it to go into space? Why are we, Trump, for example, is trying to get us cheaper gas and oil prices by bombing brown people. Why are we trying to bother these people by saying, oh, hey, you need to pay your taxes, when we could simply just tax poor people, right? I mean, they're not really doing anything, so we can tax them. Number three, this encourages bootstrapping. Now, bootstrapping is, when boomers say, pick yourself up by the bootstraps, right? So, with less disposable income, due to, I'm saying about a 50%, tax rate, they would essentially be forced to invent new groundbreaking solutions and ideas, right? Money saving, stuff like they have to get, I don't know, like a pack of hot dogs to feed a full family of 5 for a week, right? That you have to pick yourself up by the bootstrap. You have to go through the struggle. You have to. If you want to be successful, there is not a single person on this planet who has a Porsche who did not try every single day of their life. Not one. They're born into wealth. I mean, what? Number four, this will also help balance the budget for the country, right? So obviously the rich people don't pay their taxes, tax rich, whatever, and they don't, right? Like we can agree with the poor people on that, right? The rich don't pay their taxes. That's because, like I said, they're busy, right? They are, they have an army of lawyers and offshore bank accounts that hold billions of dollars, right? To minimize their contributions to our tax system. Relying on them is simply unreliable. Plus, as I said earlier, we would just be bothering them, right? So, they're trying to do stuff like put AI chips in our brain so that way when we drive up to a Taco Bell drive-thru for the 4th time this week, they already know what we order, right? Pretty smart. The poor, however, they don't really have many escape routes, right? I think a modest flat tax rate, like I said earlier, around 50%, is going to ensure a steady revenue of income for the government. And this would help benefit rich people because that extra money coming in, we can give tax breaks out to people who own PJs or private jets, right? Number five, this is promoting equality, right? This is where I have to give a shout out to the communists. And I hate them too. But their idea of if everyone is poor, everyone is equal. It's a great mentality, right? This will bring a great unification to the country where, times like this, it's pretty divided, right? Number six, this will stimulate the economy. When basic necessities like food, medicine, heating your house, stuff like that, right? When it becomes almost unobtainable to the poor person, they will be forced to cut back on those purchases, right? Now, what this will do is this will free up time and energy for the gig economy hustle, stuff like door dashing, plasma donors, Uber drivers, stuff like that. What that's going to do is that is going to give the country higher GDP numbers so we can beat China in that race. We're not beating them in anything else but the only thing that matters, which is GDP. Quality of life doesn't count. How many poor people we have Doesn't none of that matters. GDP is the only one. Number 7, it reduces envy and jealousness, right? Is that a word? Jealousness? Jealousy. Class resentment is currently at an all-time high in this country, right? If the poor are constantly distracted, having to do multiple jobs, they're having to deal with higher tax bills and bills in general, they will be too exhausted to even scroll through social media to see the amazing lives the rich are living, right? When they're posting on their private jet, when Jake or Logan Paul, whichever one, posted on his private jet after the fight, I think it was Jake Paul. They won't be able to see that, so then they won't get jealous because they didn't grind as hard as Jake Paul did to get on a private jet, right? Number 8, more tax dollars means funding to more essential services, right? This is what the socialists talk about. These essential services include bailing out big banks and corporations during financial crises, subsidizing oil companies, and creating better weapons contracts for military companies, right? These are too important to fund solely through our stock market-based taxes on rich people. A reliable stream of sales tax from the poor keeps these machines, these essential services up and running. Number 9, builds character. Adversity through let me repeat that. Adversity through strength. It's not because I stuttered. I'm just trying to make sure you're listening. Choosing between the eviction of your apartment or paying taxes teaches you valuable life lessons such as resourcefulness and the art of prioritizing which bills get paid this month and which bills get ignored this month. And finally, number 10, guys, this is a big one. It prevents overpopulation. If we do a 50%, at least, and I'm saying minimum 50%, we could do like 54%, 55%. I don't want to get too crazy, and we don't want to keep it down too much, but 50% tax rate on poor people. This will obviously discourage having large families, as each child you have, it becomes a bigger liability, becomes more expensive, right? This forward-thinking policy helps manage the population growth and preserves resources for more important things, such as expanding compensation packages for the rich and for the companies. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have any other ideas or recommendations on why we can have the poor. This is a quick little video. Again, I just kind of made this, as I went about my day at work today, because I'm around poor people. So let me know what you guys think. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.